Hello everyone. Guess what? Robert Saunders here again. And today, a brand new offer that we have with the automation platform, or actually Dell Private Cloud enabled by the Dell Automation Platform, is our Nutanix offer. And today, as the title said, it's going to be deploying Nutanix, Dell Private Cloud, with compatible storage of PowerFlex. So let's get started. So first off, we're looking here and we don't see a Nutanix cluster there. I see VMware, I see Red Hat, I see a native edge cluster, all built with Dell Automation Platform and or the Dell Private Cloud. So right off the gate here, we're going to go to the DPC Nutanix cluster deployment. If you've seen the other videos, it's the exact same pattern, except this is just a different ecosystem. So I'm going to browse to the JSON file that I've pre-configured, and I'm simply going to load that up. Super easy to do. The nice thing about the JSON files is you can check them in and you can reuse them, change them, you can reference them. You can do whatever you'd like, at least to manage the who, what, when, where, and why of how something got deployed. So of course, all the attributes you would expect from IP addresses, networking, and then at the very end here, I need to load up my Dell Private Cloud license, which I also have in a file share. And I kick off the deployment. Now here it goes. If you've seen, again, the previous deployments of VMware or Red Hat, it's all the same pattern here, except we're doing the validation up front. And once we get to the Nutanix, we're going to load up Prism, and then we're going to cluster everything together with Nutanix Foundation. So the nodes and the firmware is getting updated here. I fast forward through this. Now the Nutanix node imaging has begun. And then over to here, we have the AHV imaging step. Now, that is Nutanix Foundation that's actually going to go cluster all the nodes together. So we can jump over to Nutanix Foundation here, and this is pretty nice. This actually needs to be already existing in the ecosystem, by the way, and we simply hit it by IP or DNS name. So there's a few steps here. There's number 1 and 2 and 3 in 3 phases, as you see there. The cool thing about this is we can also drill into the logs here if we would like. Again, this is a product from Nutanix. We see the same logging getting returned to the orchestrator there, which is great. And this cluster takes about 45 minutes, so I'll fast forward through this here as we step through all the different phases there, and now we're complete. So now the storage step, and again, we're using compatible storage, so remember it's going to pause and ask for the storage. So now I'm going to log into and add the PowerFlex storage here via Nutanix Prism. So top right there, I'm going to click on the gear icon, and then over here to network configuration. First, I'm going to configure a single virtual switch. Super easy to do. I'm calling it VS1. It's a storage switch. I'm going to give it an MTU of 9,000, and I'm going to pick the ports for all 3 of the nodes. I've got 2 available for each. So yes to all of it, and create the switch. This takes just a short amount of time, and now I'm going to create my internal interfaces. So I have 2 different VLANs carved out, 951, 952. I'm going to add both of these here and an associated pool. Now the pool you want to make sure you keep large enough. Maybe you're going to expand your cluster later. I went from 40 to 49, so that gives me a little bit of expansion if I'd like to explore expanding this cluster here later. So I made this in the 151 subnet space, and I'm going to enable it for storage, and this interface now is going to go off and build there. Now we do have to wait until we create the second interface for this one to finish. So you can jump over here to tasks, and I fast forward this here a little bit, and now we're going to follow the exact same pattern for the second VLAN, VLAN 952, tie into the same switch. I'm going to give it another pool, except this is in the 152 address space, 152, 40, and 49. I'm going to add that pool there to the VLAN for the interface, external storage, MTU 9000, and enable it. Same pattern. It's going to go off and build the job. I'm going to wait till it completes. Really easy to do. Okay, there it is. It's done. Both the interfaces are there. That's perfect. Now I need to actually load up the external storage here, PowerFlex. And what's that going to mean? That's going to mean the SDC. And again, this is absolutely can be automated. I'm showing all the manual steps here, just in case you want to step through it for the first time. But all of this can be automated. Additionally, maybe you're going to call out to Ansible. If you do a lot of PowerFlex in your environments, you can absolutely do all this. We've got some partners that do a great job on that also. So there I am, I'm pulling in the SDC metadata file, and then of course the binaries, and I'm installing them. Connecting to PowerFlex, I'm going by FQDN, powerflex1.tme.lab inside our lab, and logging in with the PowerFlex Manager credentials, protection domain, and storage pool, and there it is connected. That is super easy to do. There we go. Now we see the 3 Nutanix nodes. This is a view from PowerFlex Manager. I jumped over there. They've already connected. So PowerFlex is aware of them. Perfect. 1, 2, and 3. Then over to volumes, I'll see the volumes starting to flow in here now from Nutanix. And it's going to drop in quite a few volumes here as it starts ramping itself up. But that's fine. We can let that go in the background. And now the last step here is I'm going to upload the Dell Private Cloud VMDK that I've downloaded from support.dell.com. So I'm going to pick the VMDK here. Let's be very specific, not the OVA, but I've unpacked it. And I'm going to load the VMDK. There we go. All loaded up, ready to go. Might take a second here just to kind of push it all the way out to the PowerFlex. You can actually look at the PowerFlex at this time and see some I/O activity there now. I wait until the state says active there, which it does. So now I can go back to the orchestrator here where the blueprint paused, and I'm just going to click resume. And this will continue on. Again, you can automate that step too if you'd like to do it. Call out to other workflows if you'd like to do that. So it goes through the Dell Private Cloud VM deployment, connecting to the cluster, and you're going to see the exact same pattern as you do with the other ecosystems here in just a second. So now I'll go over here. There's the Dell Private Cloud VM standing itself up. And the Nutanix cluster deployment is complete. End to end takes about an hour and a half or so, depending how long it takes to wire up the storage. And that's super easy to do. So there we are, Dell Private Cloud, and the environment is Nutanix. It is living along VMware and Red Hat and even a native edge cluster there. We have all of these in one view in the Dell Automation Platform Orchestrator. So now it's ready for administrative tasks. If we'd like to, we can go to Home, Dell Private Cloud, and guess what? The same menu system that we see with all the other ecosystems: overview, physical, update, security, settings, and support. It's all there, exactly the same pattern. So it's super easy for administrators to feel real comfortable moving between these ecosystems using Dell Private Cloud deployments. Updates, security, settings. We'll do another video and we'll dive in deeper here to all of these settings. Just want to make sure everybody understands it's the exact same thing. So if you're used to our other ecosystems, this is the same thing and you have it ready to go. Dell Private Cloud deployment complete for Nutanix. Super easy to do. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.